Falco's one of my students, and I call him Rookie. And he comes on this show and he talks a whole lot of shit. And he talks about how the Nuggets shouldn't belong here. He said to me that there were only 2 contenders in the entire NBA, that there were the Clippers and the Lakers. Nobody else belonged on the court with them. This is what we wanted. You say a whole lot of stuff. But then when I realized all the stuff that you were talking were factually incorrect, it didn't happen. And this is why I brought you here today. So you're going to just sit there and just listen. Yeah, you can sit there and just listen to everything. Because us as the veterans here on the Sports Hit List, we try to educate and you don't listen. And you want to spew, and you said that you believed in Kawhi Leonard, and you said you even went to the length of saying that Giannis is overrated. He didn't deserve the MVP. And then now
No,
I'm not done yet. You know what? I'm going to mute you because now I have the power to mute you. So you're going to listen. You're quiet. You're going to listen. So he's not going to talk. He's going to listen now because you don't listen. So therefore, I'm going to mute you again because you're not going to listen. Just wait 1 second and just listen to what we have to say. What I'm trying to say is that you run your mouth in the hit list. I don't know if you do it for likes. I don't know if you troll, but you just have to understand there's a simple thing in terms of basketball. Okay, simple thing in terms of basketball. And we told you this when they went 3-1. You said there is absolutely no way that the Nuggets can win the series. That's what you said. And here we are today, and the Nuggets won the series. So I turn it over to Coach Womack. Mac, what do you have to say to that to add to that to Falco?
Listen, I always talk to Falco when I say here, and I say he's the young gunner. We gotta get him right. We gotta get him through the mature phase and preach to him and help him out. But one thing in sports, and anybody can talk about this, you are on the court for a reason. Anything can happen at any time. We've seen it from the Yankees to the Golden State Warriors to what happened with even before Giannis got injured with Miami Heat and how they're playing. And the Nuggets played free. There's nothing like playing with freedom, nothing to lose. And when you got gunners like Murray, you got guys who take shots who are never scared, and Jokic, you have a fighter's chance. I said it. I said they have a fighter's chance. Did I take the Clippers? Yes, I took the Clippers. So I'm not going to stand here and be self-righteous, like I wasn't wrong on my pick. But I did say the Nuggets had a fighter's chance because they have professional basketball players who get paid millions of dollars to do what they do on that court. And when you go into, Carl pointed out this earlier, we all knew this. When you put them in a bubble with no fans, no refs, everybody's on equal sleep, equal food. Nobody had to travel and stay in the hotel room and do a shoot around in the hotel or take a bus ride that they didn't like to the stadium. It's evening out. It's evening out for a lot of teams, and the Lakers, the Lakers can tell you that first game against Portland, everybody said they had no chance. Portland did what? Can you sustain it is the question. But listen, all I gotta do is just say it like last time. Just say sorry. Just say sorry.
No, wait, he's not. No, we're not done with him yet, Coach. This is just the one. We're not done with him yet because. Thank you for saying that because I did tell him going into the bubble, it's neutral side, and he looked at me and he laughed at me and said, "I'm the old guy. I'm always wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about." Pastor, can you educate the youth, please? Because I try to educate them in my classes and they don't listen. So could you educate them as the pastor, please?
Youngin. See, I didn't know you was doing this, man. I did not know you was doing this. But you did it to yourself again, man. Listen, like Max says, I think most people, pretty much everyone other than like Nick Wright, picked the Clippers to win this series. No one expected a 3-1 deficit. But youngin, you got to know that this is basketball. And at time, like for me, Game 5, we all made the excuse of, oh, well, the Clippers just not taking them seriously. And then Game 6, when you saw what happened after Game 6, then that's when you were supposed to wake up and say, nah, we're watching the collapse happen live. And once you saw that, you were supposed to just apologize then. But now you got to apologize now. And it's okay, youngin. We're here to help you out. That's what we're here for. We're just here to help you. That's all. Go ahead.
All right. So, no, I'm not done yet. Okay, hold on, wait.
Let everybody come on. Let everybody.
I want some of him too.
Hold on. Hey, I'm going to
I want some too.
Paul the Great, your turn. Can you please, my brother, can you help me educate the youth? That's what we're trying to do here today. We're having a lesson to educate the young man, Brandon Falco. Your turn.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Brandon. Because I've told you in the past, you out of control. You're a hybrid. You're like a guy on the Autobahn doing 250. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to be course corrected. Performance management is my skill set, right? So let me help you out. What you said about the Denver Nuggets is crazy. One of the deepest teams in the game, right? When you look at how deep Denver is, we knew Denver had a shot. It wasn't a shooting, like Coach said, a fighting chance. Absolutely. But you remember what happened to Mike Tyson, right? You got in the same ring, Buster dropped him, and it was lights out after that. So when I look at, I picked the Clippers in 5 actually initially, which it should have been over. Pastor Mike was just speaking about what happened in Game 6. I was concerned after Game 5. You understand? Denver got lottery picks all over the court. Jamal Murray has been unguardable in the bubble, and he struggled the first 4 games of the series. So when I seen him go off like he did in Game 6, I said on our chat to Carl, I don't think they got a shot. I think give me the upset. I went out there and said Nuggets at +7, and y'all thought I was tripping, and it ended up being +20. This is what happens in sports. When you ride the hot hand, ain't no stopping you, not even the FDNY. So, Brandon, just control your emotions. You said Frank Vogel wasn't a great coach.
God.
Tripping. Right? You know what I'm saying? Now, Mike Malone, what you going to say about him? You said they ain't belong on the court. Tripping. Watch your mouth. So I'm going to let Ant take the floor next. But just know you're wearing that yellow T-shirt for a reason. That's all I'm saying, bro. Control your emotions, or we will have to terminate you. I guarantee you.
And you know what? Speaking of that, I'm actually considering a suspension. A suspension. What do you guys think about that? What do we think about that? Listen. So Anthony, the social media coordinator for the Sports Hit List, who's on the team, who is the president of the Laker Nation Brooklyn division. Anthony, can you please help me educate the youth? This is the narrative for today. Help me educate young Brandon.
So young, so impressionable. But this is what's going on here. I'm highly disappointed. I thought the young grasshopper, I thought he was, he had a lot of heart. I thought he was really, really riding until I wake up to see that, did you only root for the Clippers to jinx them because you were scared of the Clippers?
Don't give me that.
Is that really what you said? Don't answer. It's rhetorical. No, he doesn't have to answer. Keep him muted. Is that really what you said? Like, this is me. I'm not that I want to see what's under it. You got to take that shirt off. You cannot nothing Lakers today. Nothing at all. I don't want to see no chest beating. No, nothing. Not until Friday. Friday, we friends again. We cool. But today, I don't want to hear it. Now, off of that, back to the Clippers. Back to being impressionable. See, you drunk the Kool-Aid maybe. Maybe it wasn't a jinx. Maybe you heard all of the pundits and the, experts and everybody say, how good the Clippers are and how, they're the only team that's actually going to beat us and they're better than us and they're so deep and defensively talented and all these different things. And, being young, you don't understand. They're the Clippers. Like, you wasn't here for a lot of this stuff. So that's why I was like, I'm trying to tell. This is nothing to be scared of. It's the Clippers. Like, stop it. Like, the Clips going clip eventually. I wanted to be the ones that, of course, I wanted the Lakers to clip them, but it just didn't happen. It's the Clippers.
You see this hairline, Ant? That's what happens when the Clippers don't show up.
See? The Clippers.
My joint looking crazy.
Yo, I saw somebody.
You ain't careful, you end up like me, baby.
I saw somebody say I'm canceling my barber's appointment for at least 2 months because the way the Clippers are performing right now, I'm not trusting none of them.
All Clippers is suspect.
No more Clippers.
So Falco, after we educated you, what do you have to say for yourself?
I apologize for my comments.
There we go.
Listen.
Very good. You're learning already. You're the man right before our eyes. Good for you.
It was a bad take. It was a bad take, and I did not see it coming. I feel like in the past there was other scenarios where we think we're seeing an upset, and it's just not meant to be, and it's just not going to happen. I just thought the Battle of LA, the basketball gods were going to make sure that happened. I thought the best team was going to win the series. I thought, you know what? They struggled in Game 6. They had some bad possessions. Game 5 was similar. I said, you know what? Game 7, I think Kawhi is that dude. No, I don't think he's the best player in the world. I still think he's one hell of a player and a top player in the NBA. I thought he would really give it to him. I really believed that he was a cold-blooded assassin. I thought he was going to give it to him. But that was pathetic. That was an all-time choke job by the Clippers. And you know me about choke, that it's thrown around too much. That was the definition of a pure choke job. I can't believe we're not seeing the Battle of LA. I'm still like stunned.
Call.
Go ahead.
Just to echo, I was wrong too about Kawhi, but I noticed something, and this was before game 6 and game 5. Certain players, until they play as the favorite, still have to learn how to deal with pressure. And people always say, when you're the favorite, and that's why I hate the when people always say, well, Jordan, and I'd hate to bring up Jordan, but Jordan never won. All the championships he won, he was the favorite. What does that mean? When you're the favorite, you have tons of pressure on you, because if you lose, everyone is killing you. You know, last year, Kawhi, even without Kevin Durant out, people still thought Golden State will win. Who's Kyrie? What is Kyle Lowry gonna do? You know what I mean? What is Ibaka's out? Siakam? Excuse me, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Siakam, he's good on defense, but he's not ready to take over. But when you get the pressure and all the bullseye and all the papers and every tweet and every analyst is saying you're gonna win, and everyone's debating on why you chose to go where and go here and go there, that is more pressure on you as a player. And we saw it last night. After they gave up that 10-point lead in the first quarter, I knew it was over. When they were up 10, I knew it was over after that.
Hey, Coach, let me
So Paul the Great, I actually have a question for you. Me and you have kind of been on the same page about this. Doc Rivers needs to come to the front of the congregation. You knew that's where I was going, because I stated something about Doc Rivers. I said he was overrated, and people laughed at me and they said I don't know what I'm talking about. I said he's a great motivation.
I'm telling you for years.
I've been saying that for years and years. In Orlando, this is the third time that Doc Rivers is giving up a 3-1 lead. He did it in Orlando once. This is the second time on the Clippers. He's been the coach of the Clippers, I believe, for the last 7 seasons. Where do we put Doc Rivers? Should he get fired, or do we put him on the hot seat?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach, and Carl, and the rest of the panel. Doc Rivers should have been fired already. And let me tell you why. He's, in my opinion, just my opinion, right? In the words of Ray Jarvis, my opinions are my own, right? I'm not even sure Doc Rivers is a top 10 coach currently in the National Basketball Association, right? He's a guy that, he's a good face. He's an African-American coach leading an African-American staff, right? So that has some sort of value, right? He's been there. But let me just dissect a few things. And Coach Matt can speak to this as a guy who's coached elite AAU talent, some under-the-radar really good guys at St. Francis, and has actually played at a very high level, right? The whole rah-rah motivational speech stuff does not work for elite superstars in the playoffs. It never has, and it never will. You never seen Phil Jackson rah-rah on the sideline in the Bulls era or the Lakers era. You didn't see Ty Lue doing it when Kyrie hit the shot. It just doesn't happen. And if you rely on that to get you over the hump, you end up on the other end of the hill falling back. So when I think about a guy like Doc Rivers, yes, we love to see him talk and speak and talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and the coach was the previous owner who said the racist remarks. We appreciated Doc at a human level, but Doc, the basketball coach, is an underachiever. Coach Tibbs, in my opinion, had a greater impact on that Celtic championship, led by 3 superstars at that time. Some would say 2 superstars and 1. Some don't say Ray Allen's a superstar. It was 3 superstars with a really deep bench, in my opinion. But we seen them get clipped in Orlando. We seen the Clippers underachieve for years with Lob City. And here we are talking about the Clippers blowing a 3-1 lead in a neutral site where he was completely outcoached this entire postseason. Rick Carlisle outcoached him. We could all agree that Rick Carlisle in Dallas outcoached Doc Rivers. He just didn't have his firepower, right? KP wasn't there. And we've seen Mike Malone outwork him the last the last 5 quarters of this series. So at some point, you got to say to yourself, wouldn't you want a Nick Nurse or even a Sam Cassell to take that spot? Somebody who could honestly get rid of the whole rah-rah Google leadership nonsense, because that shit doesn't work.
I don't think he's that guy. They say he's not that guy.
It doesn't work.